Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of FitFam. This week is going to be cool because we're talking about one of the main factors of consistency with working out that we haven't really discussed before.
Yeah, I like this.
What is it? I don't know. We'll find out. This is Miss Natural Olympia Hillary.
And this is Doug, the Formulator.
And it was really cool because we were looking at subjects, and I was looking at what some of the hot topics were in the industry, and one of the things that came up was just the fallout rate with people, and that there were some really unique things about people that don't fall off their programs. Exercise mainly, but also nutrition, like everything to do with your health and fitness. And let's get into kind of a really cool thing we found out from the research.
Yeah, it's easy to think that it's discipline, right? That I'm just lacking discipline. I can't do it because I'm not disciplined enough. When in reality, you maybe quit on yourself alone, but it's much harder when you have somebody depending on you or somebody that you are accountable to.
Boom.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or both.
Or both, which is ideal.
I love that.
Which is probably, in a lot of hard times, the only thing that has kept me going, to be honest, in fitness, is accountability.
Yeah. Well, and many people fail, like you said, not because of any of those things, but just because they're alone. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah, you're not lazy. You're alone.
You're alone, and it's easy, even when you're alone, especially, to come up with stories, about too tired and different things. But when you have, a partner, it changes. And even being surrounded by people. I mean, we're going to focus on the partner right now, but I remember when I think it was one of your idols we went to, was it for Miss Figure, the Olympia?
Nicole
Wilkins. And she talked about getting home from an event at 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning, had to get up at 5 to train, and she just did it. And it was like, what? And because that's just what you do.
Yeah.
And it was motivating to like, hey, you can do it. And so a lot of it is your environment, but specifically with a person.
Yeah, so I think the moment that you plug into a partner, a group, a plan, a mission, everything changes. Right?
Yep.
So something that's trending is group fitness, and I'm a big fan. I don't do a lot of group fitness things, but I have a group that I do fitness with.
That's true, because you don't go to a lot of the classes and the things like that, but you do have your group, your tribe. And I've noticed lately that, for many years I had, my tribe, we call it a car, the people that, we work out with and who's in there. And lately different people moved in that, and life happens. And so we haven't had that group show up as consistently, and my consistency, or at least for sure intensity, dropped.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
And when it was just like hardcore, no questions asked because of that group. And so you can see both sides of it, of the intensity and the consistency versus easy to fall off. And so group fitness, absolutely. If you have the opportunity, I know in the 80s and 90s, that whole trend of, the group fitness was huge. Most of them were doing it wrong. They were just going and doing straight aerobics, right?
Yeah.
And all that. But yet it was that group. Because I remember a whole group of them would come over, and move from place to place.
My mom was queen of aerobics.
She
classes.
was.
Yeah, she loved those. So events like HYROX are growing really fast because people want a challenge, but they want a challenge associated with connection.
Absolutely.
And so it gives you this beautiful combination of connection and challenge. And honestly, there's just not too much better than that. Having connection and something that really tests you, right?
Well, and it's like having a friend that's honest versus a friend that just goes with the flow, right? It's both.
Yeah, and so then fitness kind of becomes your identity. It's not just about exercise. It's kind of becomes who you are, and that all is kind of based on who you surround yourself with, right?
Absolutely. And I think that, you mentioned HYROX, and honestly, it wasn't too many months ago when I heard that word. I'm like, I have no clue what that is. Now we're talking months here, not years, just a few months. And you'd mentioned about going and doing a HYROX event with your sister Holly in Phoenix at the Cardinal Stadium, and I thought, what, did they rent like 2 spaces in the parking lot? Like like HYROX, I haven't heard of it, so it can't be that big a deal. And we went to support, and the entire place was sold out. Like the entire stadium. How many athletes were there? It was like,
thousands.
It was. I heard like 12,000 athletes, and it was amazing. So there are groups and that most of you probably haven't heard of. I mean, this is our life, and I hadn't heard of it. And then we go and we see this huge community, and that's a good example. Kind of think we'll use that as an example moving forward. But I love, the quote about it's not just physical anymore.
Yeah, what's really cool is my sister Holly and I have, for the most part of our adult lives, lived a couple hours away from each other. But we get together most of the time about fitness, right?
Yeah.
Like, she's the one that's like letting me know when there's a 5K and start training for it. Or we've done a 10K together. We have done HYROXes together. And honestly, she's the one, she's more involved in group fitness activities.
That's true.
And so she kind of gets that, and then I kind of cling on and then learn a little bit about these group fitness things, and then kind of also bring it over to my tribe as well at home. But you hear Doug and I talk constantly about the importance of a trainer, and how at least for a season you need a trainer so that you can learn so much about not only the importance of exercise and how to exercise, but also how to eat and the supplements to take and all the things. So a trainer is vital. And then on top of a trainer, having an accountability partner is next
Absolutely.
level. So if you can have a trainer and you can have an accountability partner, and then you can surround yourself with other people that like a group fitness. I mean, you're pretty much unstoppable in the fitness arena. Not that not that any of us are going to be these incredible world
Miss Olympias.
No, it's just that it has so much power to it. It really does.
And the other part of that with the trainer accountability is it can become social. I think that, like you said, talking about your sister and that, there's people in our lives that maybe we don't live the same lives, and busy work, you put you in different groups, different environments, and you have an opportunity to come together and share something together, and that's the side of it. So whether it is a fitness challenge with friends around the nation, or family, or in this case, get together for an event, I think it's great. So the bottom line is that people don't lack motivation. What they lack most of the time is environment, being in the right environment,
so
right? And we've seen that even like at the Phoenix Suns. We'd bring a player in from another place that people say, oh no, don't get that player, like, it's bad news, or different things. And yet our coach or owner would see, no, there's something special there that they bring that will fit here. And they brought it to our environment, and it clicked, right? And so it really is, the environment is everything, meaning that person worked harder, they're more consistent, they're more disciplined than they weren't before. The environment is really the key, and we know that's true with everything, nutrition, everything.
Yeah, 100%. It's easy. I don't know if the word's easy, but it's easier to quit on yourself, right? It's easier to be like, you're supposed to show up for a workout or a meeting or whatever. And if it's just you planning on you, then it's like, I'm good, But when you have an accountability partner, when somebody is planning and counting on you to show up and be there and waiting on you, it changes everything. It really does. I can't tell you how many times that we work out. I work out at 4 p.m. Doug is my trainer in the gym, and Ashley and Jessica, my sister-in-law right now, are my workout partners. And Ashley, I think, has been my workout partner for almost more than 5 years, maybe a decade. I don't know. We've worked out forever together. And just the fact that somebody is always at 4 p.m., they're like, we're working out, right? There's something about that.
Absolutely.
And we make it happen every time. So accountability beats motivation every single time.
Absolutely. And in fact, we're in the locker. Our gym's name's the Locker, where you come to change. Kind of cool. Anyways, we were in there, 2 weeks ago, and you and Ashley were talking, and somehow out of a conversation, tickets were gotten things we're signed up for, and we're going to Houston tomorrow.
Okay. Let me explain.
For what?
A HYROX.
For
okay.
HYROX.
Let me explain this. Okay. So can I go into this story?
Sure.
It's a segue. Okay. So my sister Holly and I have been doing HYROXes, and we have this desire to just get better, right? We are nowhere near the top, but we really enjoy it and we want to get better. Well, she couldn't do the next ones coming up, and so I asked Ashley if she would be willing to do it, and she said she would be willing. Well, I went to sign us up for this one that was in Houston, and tickets were all sold out. Right. And so I was like, blah, tickets sold out. And I just told her, I said, hey, keep your calendar open just in case sometimes tickets become available again. Well, then it was weeks and weeks, and then I think another month. And then like 10 days ago, she came over and I'm like, yeah, we just need to take it off our calendar. And I just kind of flipped through to the page and tried to do it one more time. And I was like, wait, it just opened up. So she and I literally have not been training for this because we thought it wasn't going to happen. Yeah, training specifically for HYROX. Right. But we're always in the gym training. So we need a lot of luck.
So you're getting on a plane tomorrow.
So we're getting on a plane tomorrow for a HYROX.
And so, the thing is let's talk real for a minute. Being a professional bodybuilder, being Miss Olympia, Natural Olympia, and the Figure Masters and all that, even at that top level, what's cool is you don't outgrow needing a team. And that's so true in every area of life, in business, in family, in spiritual belief, right? And in your fitness, a team is everything. And so it's not like when I get to this level, because we always talk about everyone should have a trainer for a season. Truth of the matter, some people should have a trainer their entire life. But some are with them a season and they get it where they can develop their own or get with others and they can create their own program in a group and so if you're that type of person, get with the best, learn, and then you can create. But if you're not one of those types of people, then you always have a trainer, and so many people do. But it's about having that team. You never outgrow the need for a team.
Yeah, no, you really don't outgrow the need for a team, and you never outgrow the need for an event. Okay, so I think something for me that's been really powerful is that because of bodybuilding, you can get lost in the aesthetics of it, right? Lots of times it's like, what's odd about my sport is for my sport, I'm training to look a certain way. When in a lot of other sports, you're training to perform a certain way, right? So you can get lost in that. And so what's been really validating about all of the work that we put in bodybuilding is the other things that we've done that show that we're still accomplishing the same goal, that our fitness, our actual ability to perform under stress is increasing as we continue on this bodybuilding journey. One of the examples is when we went on our Grand Canyon hike. Yeah. And, I was warned by so many people, oh, it's so hard, it's so hard, it's so hard. And it was challenging, but I wouldn't say it was hard. And to have gotten through that, I immediately let my coach know, wow, like this helped me to love bodybuilding and the process even that much more. And we had a big team that we went with. So there's something about teamwork.
I nailed the hike in like, I wasn't even breathing hard.
We were on a helicopter on the way in. On the way out.
Oh, that was a little tougher. Please, piece of cake.
We almost had to send someone. Just kidding. But anyways, and that's what I like about HYROX as well, is that all of a sudden it's giving me this new outlet for all of the work that we're putting in for an aesthetic look on stage. It's giving me like a training output, and really, and it's timed. And so you get to, increase. And so that camaraderie that you get, it is cool. And I really would challenge, I think it's most important to find an event. So I think anybody can find anything that they're interested in. A
local 5K, a local tribe.
Bingo.
I mean, we're an extremely small community, and I can think of 5 different 5Ks during the year. They're doing the event, the what was that
Triathlon?
one? Triathlon. Mm-hmm. And a few others in our little area, right?
Yeah.
And so I know they're everywhere, and so you're right. And let's say that you don't have an event that is a fitness event. You can still have a date that, going on a cruise, you're doing this, you're doing that, and you're training for it, and you set goals to be in a certain shape, right? Body fat, weight, even cardiovascularly, and that can work too. But actual events are probably the best, because then you're gonna be able to
Yeah,
get timed in that.
I love the concept of, even, if you find something sporty, right? Something that's going to challenge you in the fitness arena, and sign up for it, and sign up for it, put name on the dotted line, and then you have so much time to train and get ready for it. And it doesn't matter what it is. It can be a bodybuilding show. It can be a triathlon. It can be a pickleball tournament. Things that get you outside and get your body moving are really, really important.
Absolutely. And it's the same thing in every area of life. I mean, some of my greatest mentors are like, hey, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, do it with someone else. And same thing, we all can get motivated really quick, right? You go to an event, you go to Arnold, or you're around different people, and it torques you off because they're in shape, and you're like, and you can go really fast for a short amount of time, but you're not going to go far without someone else there with you. And that's really, really key, I think. So let's hit a few key main points here.
Yeah, so
right?
Why community changes everything. One, you push harder.
Absolutely.
You really do push harder. When I can't wait to be on this HYROX course, and for Ashley to be like, come on, like, you can do it, Right. Two,
you stay consistent. That's the key. You go further, right, with someone. Someone expects you there. That's really important.
Right. And three, it becomes more fun. It's just more fun with someone else.
Yeah. And I got to make a point about that more fun thing. You can't take that too far. Because sometimes when I'm training these girls, it's ridiculous, and they have to lay down a hammer.
No, but you're wrong, because what we do, you are wrong on this one, because fitness should not feel like punishment. Fitness should feel fun. There should be moments of high difficulty. There should be moments of being out of breath, but there should be laughter, and there should be excitement.
There should, after the set.
Okay, after the set. But anyways, fitness, it makes fitness fun.
We've had our best times ever in the gym, and so
100%.
I joke a little bit about that. But, that you can do both. You can be serious and intent and full out, and then that's the whole part about fitness. There has to be major rests in between, especially when you're training for something, right? And you get to enjoy those moments. So,
and then also number 4, an identity shift, right?
Yeah, and that's multiple, right? For me, it's like, it becomes, you get out of the selfish and get more selfless, because when you're with the group, you have to give also. You can't just train and go away. Like, you're there and supporting and motivating, and you have to be a voice. And it's different. It is different.
I truly believe that in a group setting too, you become more optimistic, right? Because you see the strain that somebody else is going through, and you innately want them to know that they can do it. And so you become more, you become more positive, and you speak more life into them, which always speaks life into yourself. Correct?
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
And so it's I love the statement about, you don't rise to goals, you rise to the standard of the group you're in. Look, we've been in the fitness business and the health business for decades upon decades. And the truth of the matter is that very few will stand out and follow their goals if their community they're around, the group they're in, has much lower standards. And it's true with everything in life, right? Yeah. And very few people can hold for a long period of time standards when everyone around them standards are different. So if you have a group of friends that do have high fitness standards, or at least goals, right, then you're going to rise, and everyone's going to rise together in that. And it's one of the toughest things, like even in business. It's like, man, you can have a person that's good, but in all reality, they're not the level of everyone else, and everyone else is going to come down to that level if that person doesn't rise. So you do everything you can to get them to rise. If not, you have to move on for those moments in time.
Yeah, and I feel like the identity shift is a real thing, and I value that so much. Honestly, in both you and myself, because most people understand and know, if we're going to go on vacation together, or if we're going to, be somewhere, they can count on us finding a gym. Yeah. We're going to find a gym, and we're going to get it done. And that, knowing that that's kind of your identity, helps you to stay in it, right?
That's good.
It helps you to stay more consistent.
Yeah, and there's even health side of this too, that there's great research to show that loneliness actually is tied to worse health conditions.
Yeah,
and
I love that you added this.
Look at the healthiest people in the world. One of the top 4 things that all of them say, anyone over 100 years of age with good health, called centenarians, is community, is they have good friends. And we have a lady in our community that's pushing the 100 mark. And we drive by her home, and she's got people on the porch, and she's walking with a I don't know, grandchild or someone that, we're walking with. And that community is a big deal. And so social connection improves your mental and physical health.
Yeah, I love that so much. So being alone isn't just bad for your mindset, it is also bad for your body. So
absolutely.
That's why we love this group
concept.
Okay,
so let's get some calls to action.
Okay.
Right? So the easiest thing is to find a walking partner. I look out our window in the mornings, and I'll see groups of ladies with the babies pushing their strollers. I'll see the older, almost 100-year-old lady in their red walking. I saw a couple of guys going the other day, which I thought was interesting. Usually it's groups of women. And that's the easiest, walking.
Yeah. If getting in a gym feels too hard, then, start on the sidewalk. I love that concept.
But have a partner.
Yeah,
someone that you meet with to
workout
do a walk.
partner too. Yeah, for sure.
Then workout partner.
Okay, so walking partner, a workout partner, somebody that it's the same day, same time every day, and if it changes, you both know.
You have to agree to the time.
Correct.
Right.
So the non-negotiable. I like the concept of the non-negotiable schedule, because once you've done a non-negotiable schedule, you can negotiate a little bit because you both know you've done that consistently.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So there are times where I'll text Jessica and Ashley and just be like, hey, does this time work? We've got to fudge it a little bit. And typically everyone shows up. There's few times when everybody's like, no, can't do it.
And it's interesting with the next one is, and
it is interesting
because the truth of the matter is that smaller groups, not against anything, because a lot of people like to go to the group and there's 20, 30 people there and they do their class. And that's great. And I think if that's where you feel most comfortable, go for it. But the research showed that smaller groups, 3 to 5 people, creates a higher level of energy and consistency, and I think a lot of it's accountability. You know each other more.
Yeah,
right?
I think what I've noticed in large group settings, that actually you find groups of 3 to 5 within that large group, and so that may be contributing to that.
Well, like HYROX, right? There's going to be thousands there, I'm sure, when we show up in Houston.
Right.
And but yet you're with Ashley, and I'm sure you guys will find a few people at about that same level you're at, and you get new friends, right? But it'll be a small group, so that's good.
So I do like the concept of if one cancels, both lose. Like if somebody cancels, it's try to change the time instead of canceling.
Yeah.
Try to show up no matter what. And then event goal, like HYROX. Again, I just think that there's something very powerful in setting an event.
Well, and we have a friend, Weston, right, that moved back down to the valley, lives down there by Braven, but he decided again that he didn't have enough of that accountability in his life. He said, I'm going to do another bodybuilding show. And so right now he's in the groove. He was there last night. He was there this morning. He'll be there this evening. We'll be filming most of the evening. I guarantee we'll get a workout in. And so that's a big factor.
What's really cool, and then community identity, right? What's really cool when you get a trainer is typically when you hire a trainer, you are part of a group and part of, a family that is all learning together or working together for similar goals, and so a trainer, and then you become part of that family, or joining a running club, the gym culture, right? Part of a team, are all really, really, really valuable tools to creating a better fitness relationship.
And, we go back to, if you haven't read the book by Dr. Ben Hardy, Be Your Future Self Now, it's one of my, it's actually probably moved to the top 4 books ever for me. And the reason that book is so critical for even today's, podcast is that when you become your future self now, like in my future self, this person's extremely fit, right? Now it's changing in my age and that, but I picture and know who that is. And if I become that now, there's no negotiating of what I have to do today, because that's who I am. Even though it's the future self, I'm being it today. I'm like, well, there's no option. Like, you got to get those push-ups in. You got to do that training. And I really love becoming your future self now, and it becomes who you are, and that gets rid of the talk that in your head.
Yeah, so there's a to-do. Listen to Be Your Future Self Now. That's a great book.
Oh.
Also, here's this one. Let's do a 7-day Don't Train Alone challenge.
Oh, I love that.
So pick it. You can start tomorrow. You can start today.
Yeah, either train, walk, or, right, some movement.
Some movement for 7 days in a row with a partner.
Yep.
Does it have to be the same partner?
I would say so.
Okay.
Let's say the same partner for 7 days. And again, maybe it's you and your partner at home, and it's right after you eat, best time to take a walk because of insulin, right? In that first
You
10,
know what will
15
help
minutes.
you to start walking if you're having a hard time walking on your own? A dog. If you get yourself a dog, that will help, right? How guilty do we feel when we don't take Dasher for a walk?
You feel real guilty.
I was going to say that.
So let us know in the comments how many of you are going to take this challenge, 7-day challenge, no solo workouts. Hey, for 7 days, maybe that's only 3 weight training workouts, but whatever it is for a week that you train with somebody, as simple as dancing, walking,
Activity.
Working out, some activity.
Getting
Okay,
active.
we'd love that.
Yeah, post it and tag us. We want to see
please
it, right?
Please do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you don't need more information. You need more connection. It's the bottom line. And we challenge you to have more connection when it comes to your fitness. What are your thoughts?
I think the 2 takeaways from today for me are connection, a partner. You need some accountability and somebody to do it with, do the hard with. And then, the challenge and the connection together, there's something beautiful about it. And there's growth. There's massive growth that happens when you have connection and you're challenged at the same time. So
Yeah, I love that. I mean, when you come back to the healthiest people in the world, everything is what we teach with mindset, nutrition, exercise, sleep, supplementation. And the only missing link that they all have in common is that connection of doing things together, of that environment, of having a healthy mindset. So make it happen. Let us know. Make sure you click to subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified of our future podcasts. As always, this is Miss Natural Olympia Hillary.
And this great guy,
Gray.
this guy right here, stuck the formulator.
Keep chewing.
See ya.